because I look. Oh my God, my apologies. I just went live, and my mic apparently was off, and I did like a whole 6 minute speech. I was wondering why the likes were low, because like the viewers kept going up, but like at one point, within a few minutes, we're like 70, 80 viewers up, and I'm getting. Can you hear me or what? Can you hear me? Okay, gosh, insanity, insanity. Like, yeah, not my not my brightest moments, but unfortunately, I know that you guys have seen me worse. So, at the end of the day, it's all right. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that. You feel me? With that being said, like I said, I appreciate everybody for logging in. Y'all know that this channel is primary dedicated to my music videos, which I've been very consistent in uploading the past 3 months. As far as me going live, I still do use it for lives, however, on a far less frequent basis. But I encourage everybody to be subscribed up with the bell notifications on when you get these rare live experiences. So, with that being said, I ain't got no sponsor. So, if you want me to address something, the reason why I wasn't looking at the chat is because I'm trying not to play the chat right now. This live stream will be about, I have a lot on my mind right now, a lot on my heart, and I want to talk about this past year, all the beefs that I've been in, where I stand with these people right now, how I feel about these people in these various situations. Obviously, we just saw the insane 4Extra and Adam22 beef taking new heights with Adam choosing to release a diss track. Whole other conversation there. I will be getting into that as well. I'm going to be talking about a whole gang of things. But with that being said, obviously, y'all know I ain't got no sponsors. I'm doing this out the mud. You feel me? I'm actually hiding in a toy store right now because I'm on the run from the police and I'm really laying low, but I'm hiding in the library section of a toy store. So, no, I appreciate y'all. What y'all got to do, though, because I ain't got no major sponsors, if you want me to address anything, which I will immediately upon you sliding that young thing, yes, Diddy, no, Diddy, please, for comedic purposes, yes, Diddy. But obviously, no Diddy. Oh, and I also want to give you updates on my spiritual journey, my recovery slash lack thereof slash improvements that I have made in that regard, etc. We're going to be talking about a lot right now, so strap in. You feel me? Load up the bong, crank up the song, dirty informer call 911, all that. But if you want me to address something, shoot that super chat. The reason why I missed the fact that there's an extensive amount of time on the last live, like when I just went live right before this, where I was talking with the mic muted like the whole time. And I didn't even realize it because I'm trying not to play the damn chat like that. But for the super chats, I will. But what is free and what is appreciated is a subscribe, a bell notification click, and most importantly, so we can get this live algorithmically in the minute IX killer, would be to share it. Share it, like it, hit that like button. It's for the free ski, whiskey, and I would really, really appreciate it. And with that being said, I want to start today's stream off with a prayer. Tonight's stream off with a prayer. Today, if you're like in Europe or Australia or some crucial foreign land. But Jesus Christ, Son of the Heavenly Father, thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us. Thank you for the gift of communication. Thank you for the gift of being able to talk to everybody and potentially touch whatever spirits might be in the realm of having their heart open to listening to your message, Jesus Christ. Through may I be a vessel and speak a pure heart and a pure tongue. And a clear mind. With that being said, in your name we pray, Jesus Christ, amen. You feel me? Today I came from church, so I'm feeling compelled by the spirit. I would like to see them like rates get up. I'd like to see more likes because 12 likes for a soft 80 viewers is a little bit embarrassing. And I think you guys love me a little bit more than that. Can I get an amen, player? Yeah. With that being said, yeah, not much love. Long live my brother Bishop Brigante for sure. So we're gonna be in Canada potentially in March for the King of the Dot World Dom event commemorating the homie Bishop. So we finna see. Yeah, shouts to everybody in all religions, whatever you believe in. I don't want to impose my faith on others. My faith is merely just me trying to be the best version of myself. Saeed said, Lush, can you please do a regular live again? Miss old times. Yeah, like on the computer type live. Matter of fact, yeah, this is a good time to announce it. New Year's Eve, me and drum roll, please, germ free. Me and my girlfriend, you feel me, partner in crime and co um, co-star in the controversies of our own insane lore. Her and I will be doing a live stream New Year's Eve. So log in, not exactly sure what time. Tomorrow I will be on the No Jumper News, and then I will be doing the No Jumper Show on Tuesday, and we have the No Jumper News on Wednesday, and you will be getting a New Year's Day episode as well for all my No Jumper heads. No, I definitely. So we can talk about, like I said, whatever y'all want, but beyond that, I need to address a lot of things. First off, when it comes to this Adam22 faux extra diss track, I want to let it be known. A lot of people saying I'm getting hit up by a whole multitude of people saying Lush One wrote that, Lush One wrote that. Now, the evil that my pen is capable of is far more devious and destructive. I'll be honest. You feel me? For extra, I'm cool with. He's the homie. I ain't got nothing to say with him. I wouldn't diss him. I ain't dissing him. You feel me? And that's Adam22 right there. Now, with that being said, I am a professional ghostwriter and have been for literally 2.5 decades in this industry, and have worked on some pretty sizable records. A lot of people know us up. People in the industry definitely do. With that being said, I would never say, like, what did Brittany Murphy say? I'll never tell. Like, yeah, long live Brittany Murphy. So I ain't write that, but I never would. I wouldn't say if I did. So people will never know regardless, you feel me, about anything. And let's keep it that way. My boy Seb S4U said, congrats another year. Will Diz be coming back? Yeah, Diz will be coming back eventually to No Jumper. Me and Diz talk all the time. Diz got a lot in the cannon right now. He's gonna be battling all over the world in different languages. Diz battled in 13 countries this year alone. He was all through, third world parts of the Middle East and Southeast Asia and even crazy parts of Europe and Iceland, and he touched all over the world, Africa, everything. Just going crazy right now. With that being said, I do appreciate the super chis Nayats. If there's something you want me to address, that would be the best place to do it. Now, I think it's important to. Germ and I will be expanding a lot on things that we didn't get a chance to talk about when she came to No Jumper, due to the fact that there was just a lot going on that day. We had Henny Munchie in full effect, the Munchie and Adam controversy and the ensuing mayhem and all that. So that kind of, there's a lot of things we never got to really discuss and dissect what happened with that 30,000. We never really got to fully dissect and discuss the whole thing about the pregnancy and all that, and the misconceptions people have and the misinformation that was spread or any of that. Yobo Killer 3194 says, "Do you miss Helen, aka my ex?" No, but I will say this: I do not miss Helen at all, but I wish her nothing but the best, and I feel bad. I feel bad that her and I's amicable friendship ended the way it did, with her being rather rather upset about, rightfully so, about the way I talked about her on No Jumper a few years ago when I first, it was actually one of my first pieces of content that did numbers on No Jumper was talking about her in a not the most flattering light, and that wasn't the right thing to do. Regardless, I thought it was funny, and I harbor no hate or animosity for her or any of my exes for real. So I'm glad that here, when I hear that she's doing well and things like that. Actually, Germ is still cool with her. Is the funny thing. Like, Germ, I'm pretty sure is still cool with my ex-wife. Unfortunately, so I was at the Santa Fe Springs swap meet, and this was before I was dating Germ. I was like hanging out with this other girl at the Santa Fe Springs swap meet, and I'm getting crazy texts from my ex-wife, and she's like, "Yo, you gotta get that taken off of No Jumper," and blah, da, 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 da. And she was like going up about it, and I was like, it's kind of too late. There's nothing I can do. It's already been reposted a grip of times. So no, I don't miss her at all. I have fond memories of her. She's a dope person, but like, no, I love Germ and only Germ, and beyond that, it's like, we've kind of like that's like if you miss your ex for real, like, man, I don't know what to tell you. You're not supposed to miss your ex, gang. With that being said, so many things I want to talk about. We could we could get into a lot of these No Jumper, where I stand with the people that I've had friction with, where I'm at with them now, and what I got to say to them. Because look, I am on a spiritual journey right now. I am a follower of Christ. That don't mean that I'm gonna start acting like a soft ass bitch again all of a sudden. Like, I'm still me. But I definitely want to make a lot more. It's actually the opposite. I'm gonna be way more firm on who I am as a man. Ideally, that's my goal. That's my goal. That's my ambition, is to stand on business, but for the proper reasons and because I want to, about what makes me feel like because I know I have a strong moral compass, and that kind of makes a lot of my fucked up, devious actions almost worse because I do know better. I'm not stupid. I'm not emotionally unintelligent, and that's why there's not really any excuse when I'm on bunk and I'm doing some bunk shit because, I have that education. And when I say education, I'm not talking about going to specific schools and things like that. Although, I mean, to a degree, that can be a factor. However, in my case, it's really not. It's more like me. It's more like I've been through a lot of therapy because I've been to rehab so many times, and even before that, like as a kid, I was in therapy at a young ass age. Like, that's a super, like kids from like affluent families in West LA, like they're super quick to get kids in therapy and get kids medicated. I had homies that were getting sent to crazy, little mental hospitals and rehabs and placement homes at young ass ages. I'm talking like rich kids, etc. Like it's a super common thing. So I've had a lot of education in that regard firsthand, and just been in so much crazy situations in my life, and been confronted by so many different like weird, crazy things that I do have a level of emotional intelligence that kind of supersedes. And even I actually had that like as a kid, even from day one. That's always been something that has been, anyone that knew me from my family to family friends to my own friends and my, teachers and school. I was always very empathetic. You could say I put the pathetic in empathetic, but I'm a super empathetic person. And that's why when I'm like destructive and I use that potentially super wholesome superpower for negative forces, is way worse. I'm way worse. So I gotta like hold myself accountable in that regard. And when I'm on bunk, it is bad because I do know better. And I've always been a spiritual person, and I've always had God in my heart. And I think a lot of people get super confused because it's weird. You know, I've always had a lot of confusion, not about spirituality. I've been very open spirituality, and I've always thought the path to enlightenment through spiritual means superseded religion. Sai said, high school education, we so much better into ads. In the night, I'm sorry, I can't read. High school education was so much better in the 90s. Yeah, I mean, potentially. I mean, yeah, I think absolutely. In certain ways, I think we definitely were misled and taught a bunch of bunk shit as well. Like, but that's another story. I mean, I went to some good schools. I went to some bad schools, LA USC schools. I went to continuation school. I've been to, I've been to a charter school. I've been to all types of schools, good, bad, and ugly. I went to classes in fucking juvie and diversion program and all that. So I've seen like what the whole entire gamut of what this city and this education system can potentially have to offer as far as like on that level. Beyond that, I never really delved too into it. But I'm trying to do better things. Just growing up, like I never really had a strong spiritual. I had a strong spiritual, not a strong religious identity. Having a dad who was Jewish, but never really was himself, and a mom who was Catholic, but they never really put that on me. However, like I would go to school. I went to like church and like chapel and all that at the end of the week, but it was super weird because the hell? Weird ass messages. So beyond that, I had like, yeah, I grew up around a lot of Jewish kids as well, and it was they kind of let it be known, although like I was homies with them, that I wasn't a part of the tribe. And although culturally, like I've been to so many bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, Shabbat dinners, like everything that rhymes Shabbat dinners, bar mitzvahs. I say a middle finger to a swastika. I've been to Asian household, ate pot stickers, marijuana tags. I caught pot stickers. Bye. You know, so with all that being said, like this was me publicly kind of jumping off the porch and letting people know how I felt for a long time and making a commitment to have a stronger relationship with God through Christ, have a stronger understanding of what that entails, and trying to just use it for the means of being a better person and more disciplined and more focused. And, somebody said something really interesting. Actually, I saw somebody, dude, what the fuck? Stop messaging me, gang. I saw somebody that basically told me that you gotta either completely wild out and just be a crash dummy and hoe yourself out for content completely, or improve and step it up. I think there is a middle ground to a degree because I'm not perfect and I'm not trying to be, I'm not using my baptism and my newfound faith, or not newfound faith, but like my stronger commitment to my faith to be no Evans. But I'm not using that as a trying to like escape the accountability for my words or actions or anything like that. But it's me moving more righteously and me trying not to succumb to my vices, aka my demons, however you want to define that. Man, there's so much to discuss. I feel like this could be potentially several streams. Who should I start with? Should I start with Sharp? Should I start with Yuri? Should I start with my current co-hosts? My relationship with them? Should I talk about former co-hosts? I do want to address the community. There's just a lot of should I address? There's a lot of people I feel like I need to address and kind of give not a final synopsis, but because really one thing I'm aiming towards moving forward, which I feel like is going to be way more conducive to my career just in general and me taking things more seriously is me not engaging in unnecessary back and forth with other people. That's like it can help content creators grow to a certain degree, but like since none of us are really that famous to be viral within our certain space, I feel like that's kind of like hit a ceiling. And it's something that I've never really sought out. Although, I got an ego. I got problems. I definitely have an ego. I'm very fucking arrogant. I could, do a lot of shit. I feel like I try so hard to be such a chill person and not fall victim to the okey doke, but I do it regardless. Like I still have a big fucking ego, and ego stands for edging God out. So that's something I'm trying to work on. At the same time, you have to have. It's important for me as a man and just as a human being to not allow myself to get hoed out and marked out and walked over and have my kindness taken advantage of and exploited. So it's like that is like really, it's like strong. It's like opposite sides of the spectrum for real because and that's something about me. I'm like a very extreme person, so like it's hard for me to find that middle, that sweet spot, between not being super egotistical and allow my egotistical and entitlement to get the best of me, or to be completely like, the opposite of that and just like self-deprecating and over-accommodating and just allow people that I shouldn't to get certain graces. So sometimes like that's still new for me. I'm still learning how to traverse those waters. So as far as like the big community thing, a couple things like Smack hit me up the other day on Christmas. He wished me a Merry Christmas. That was dope. I was really surprised to see it. It was unexpected. I hit him back. Wish him a Merry Christmas. You feel me? Merry Christmas and a Happy Blue Year. All that. You feel me? Shouts to him. I thought that was really nice. And I wasn't sure what prompted that, but I thought that was kind of him. I spoke to AD a few months back, and I let AD know, like, hey, and we both kind of had the same thoughts on it. Off rip, like, it ain't real no animosity like that, but we gonna get this content off and we gonna get these jokes off. And I think that for me, like, I've been kind of trying to do that, but sometimes I like fall victim. And obviously, like me, I'm not using this as an excuse, but me being high, like I'll take things and I'll say things in a more inflammatory manner. I feel like people on both sides of this have done that. And, we've all said wild shit when we're faded. And it is what it is, But the thing is this. I think that I'm well aware of the fact that no matter what, when people see me getting at T-Rail and Fig Munity and them, right? I think that I know that people think it's just me dick riding at them. And I know that people think it's just me pushing like the line for no jumper over. And I get that because I've seen that. I know what it looks like. I've seen it in other homies of mine. I've seen it in other people that don't fuck with me. I've seen it like people doing it too. I've seen it in so many different angles, like bird's eye view 360. You feel me? From the tip of the Falcon's wings to the bottom of the place where the white doo-doo fly out of when on top of a Ford Taurus. I done seen all angles of this motherfucker. Like bird's eye view in this bitch. Like, so I realize how it comes across. And the fact of the matter is, there might be a small element to me, because we know, like, I'm a team player, I'm riding for the team, and yeah, like, even at times probably overcompensating, because it's like, yeah, like, I came back over here, and da-da-da, you was my dog, we was mad close, then you was the ops, now you my dog again, but it's like, ooh, it's kind of like, so there's like a lot of dynamics there, but the reality is, most of the time when I've gone off on Fig Community, I'm not even saying is that they deserve it, but like a lot of times it's me responding to things. But it'll be like them reacting to crazy shit that they're saying me, seeing me say or do, and then me responding to that. And I'll break down exactly why. I know I done said it a million times, but I kind of have a different outlook on it now, and I could really like say it really simply. I think that I felt like the reality is I felt some type of way. Not like on no serious beef or animosity shit, but I felt like they kind of played me out and they hoed me out, and that's how I felt. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, you know, like, but because at the end of the day, like them dudes never really owed me shit, but I like was in my feelings a little bit for real. I was in my feelings. I was kind of like, damn, like y'all fools say y'all gonna fuck with me, but they didn't. But then I really think about it. Would I have fucked with me either? Like probably not. Like I mean, me, yeah, I'm a loving person. I'm too loving. I fuck with too many people sometimes. So maybe I would have, but and also I am like, you know, I don't know. But there are a lot of times like there's a lot of people I see it through my interactions in battle rap and just the music game and just everything that I've done. There's a lot of people that I wish I could have worked with and tried to work with and, you know, really had the intention to, but it didn't work out. And then they feel to this day that I was like slighting them when that was never really the case. And also the majority of my content that was kind of getting any traction for real when I left No Jumper was me talking shit about No Jumper. It was just like, toxic torpedo missions and just me like reacting to some bullshit. I was trying to do other shit, but it wasn't really catching on. And the only shit people really wanted to see was that, you know, and it just really, so if I was, that's not really like leaving the past behind. That's not moving on. That's not making a new imprint. Like I'm not gonna be hard on myself because I really do feel like I had the deck stacked against me in a lot of regards. That's another thing I want to discuss. Definitely is the pop up and the whole Ralph Sinatra thing. I'll be getting into that as well. And just everything that happened in that studio. I will be getting into that because I do want to address that. But back to the Fig Community thing. You know, at the end of the day, like, yeah, like I kind of just, so when you would see me reacting or chiming in or talking shit or popping it, it was really because I wasn't fucking with them and I felt some type of way. It was me being like, what? And just letting fools know, like, hey, I ain't dodging none of this podcast wreck. Y'all got something to say, I'm gonna say it back because I say it better. And that's just how I feel. That's how you're supposed to feel, right? Everybody's supposed to be confident in what they do. Again, it's about balancing the ego, but you know, because like really, genuinely, a lot of our like I do have for the most part a lot of fond memories being around those people. Like I don't really the times we did share, it's not like it was contentious times. Yeah, some bullshit happened here and there. There's some shit I ain't like. There's some shit, but whatever. For the most part, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs. Motherfuckers made some money. Busted some moves, and it was lit, and people really enjoyed it and enjoyed that era. So I don't really want to continue this perception that I really harbor any animosity about those guys because I don't. Now, does that mean that I shouldn't ever make fun of them? Like, no, it's okay to make fun of each other. We finna keep doing that. I'm gonna still make jokes. And I know that those fools ain't no bitches. They can take it. You feel me? I'm gonna stay away from the Heather thing. I ain't gonna diss her because, you know, it's a female. And I kind of popped it about her a little bit harder than I would want people to go at my lady. So I understand, her being upset. So that wasn't right. At the same time, I felt like she had always kind of like popped it was very unhinged about the way she spoke about me. But at the end of the day, that's a woman, that's a mother. Like I ain't really, that's somebody who I was cool with, lady. Like at the end of the day, but I'm still gonna leave that Hurricane Heather song on all streaming platforms because I snapped on it with that Max B inspired hook. But if we're being honest, like, yeah, that's a bit excessive. That was a bit much. So, by the way, I am aware of the Lush wrote the memes going on in the chat, and I love the chat. We have the best chat over here. If y'all want me to address something, shoot that super chat. Let's continue to get the mics up. I appreciate all the viewers. We going crazy. There's a lot more to say. With that being said, yeah, like I do have, fond memories around them. I was definitely felt some type of way about the way I was treated in different ways. So, or my perception of how I was treated. So, I was popping it. But that's just that. I'm down to like still make fun of each other. I'm definitely still down to like who ride and have fun with it, but it's all love. I don't really feel no type of way. And I think I would be quick to like, they would like be making jokes like, this fool's being a fucking wild ass smoker. Because I was doing wild ass smoker shit, so I get that. And then I'd be like, and then I would retort with something like super mean, like, about their about unfortunate situations that happen or this or that. And like, that's tacky, dude. I can be funny without doing that. I can be entertaining without doing that. I'm better than that, dude. I'm better than that as a human being. So I shouldn't resort to such low tactics. Sev, SOU, will you still do stream with Rampage Jackson? Absolutely. Absolutely. We were going to do that. I forgot what happened. But no, I'm definitely down to make it happen, Captain. Y'all are funny as hell in the chat, by the way. But yeah, and AD is a good dude. At the end of the day, like they're like, we might not be the best of friends, but it's really all love, and I got nothing but love in my heart for all of them at the community. Like it's chill, fool. Like like I'm still down to roast. I'm still down for whatever it is, but like I don't really like people thinking I hate them. I need to dig because I never really have, bro. And it's stupid that people think that. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, obviously Adam's my homie and I ride with him. You know what I'm saying? But how stupid would it? It'd be retarded. Let's say Adam could squash it with T-Rail tomorrow, and then I'll look like a fucking idiot because I'm going at these fools. Like, nah, like that's out, bro. That's out. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I'm not saying we got to be best friends or even talk or nothing, but I don't need to perpetuate any negativity. Like, again, I'm down to make fun of each other and shit like that. Like, I understand there's podcast rivalries and this and that, and I ain't never ducked no wreck in that regard. I'm, funnier, clever. My dick's bigger, you feel me? I drive better, you feel me? I've done seen more countries, ate better food, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Done nice, better drugs, whatever. Nah, fuck, and this is the thing, bro, and this is the thing, like, nah, ain't no, like, what I want y'all to do is this. Please, talk about copping, please suck my dick, you feel me? Please. Nah, because I duck no smoke. That's been said. I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. The only thing I got to prove is that I got money to pay the bills. I got money to fucking put away and fucking actually try to do some big boy shit. I ain't worried about this dumbass shit. What the fuck is y'all talking about? I'm clarifying my heart as a man. And if anybody see anything else, then y'all see what the fuck y'all see. But this is me, the most genuine version y'all gonna get, because ain't no whole shit. Other people already, nah, it's not even mine. Nah. What I don't have is the luxury to be focused on a bunch of gay ass shit that's not making me any money and is not productive and isn't helping nobody. But like, motherfucker, like when it come down to it, anybody that got smoked, they know where I'm at. You feel me? I really don't want to be that guy, and I'm not trying to fucking I'm definitely I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. I really don't, bro. I really, really don't. It's a struggle. See, like you're witnessing me in the midst of the struggle. It's hard. It's hard. It's not easy to turn me up, and I got to do better. I pray for strength, Jesus Christ, in that regard, and not let people put me in a trick bag with some nonsense. Like, because ultimately I'm the aggressor. I'm the one that's I'm the one that's wrong. I'm the one that's wrong. Like as far as like doing too much, being like being a fucking J cat for no reason. Like, nah, that shit is out. That shit is out. Now, Sharp. Oh yeah, okay. Now before we move on from Fig Mini, what did I say I wanted to talk about next? I wanted before the Sharp thing. What did I say I want to talk about next? I told y'all what I wanted to talk about. Someone in the chat, let me know. Yeah, as far as like individuals from Fig community, like I really like I know what the general perception of y'all fools over there of me is, and frankly, my dear, I don't give a fuck. Straight the fuck up. But it ain't no hate on my end. Y'all should know that. Smack for real, most of the time, like like 80% of the time I was coming out my neck about you, pause, is I felt like you was popping into me first. I still never meant nothing bad, because I actually really fuck with you. And you funny ass dude, and you a cool ass dude, and you were real ass dude, and you know, you hitting me up on Christmas like meant a lot. You know, I fucks with that. AD, T-Bell, all them keep doing what they do. Mac Wop and them. You know, I went over there. I was definitely, they showed me love. They welcomed me. I was super faded, kind of like doing the most. Had the fucking famous Deck lip scum on Did It I Ek, doing the, and you know, I fucks with y'all. That shit was cool. Ain't no hate. Who did I say I was finna talk about next? Y'all fools is on some other shit, gang. Oh yeah, we can definitely talk about Hotline Bling as well. I mean, Yuri as well. Um, I know, huh? I'm gay as fuck. Uh, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Sharp. It's Sharp. It's unfortunate that we never really. I feel like the same issue that happened with Bo Extra and Adam happened with Sharp and I. I feel like I really do feel like you know he jumped out the window a gang of times and talked shit about me, and I responded when I could have done the mature thing and just ignored it or called him and had a convo instead of kind of like being hypocritical and doing the same shit back. But I understand that it's a cutthroat game, this podcasting shit, when it really doesn't have to be. When human beings really could just interact on a more productive level and could be getting money to get. And there were times where I feel like, you know, Sharp did reach out, where he did probably try to be cool to me. And at that point, I was kind of like, fuck this fool. And I thought I kind of had the ups on him because I was getting love at No Jumper. He was going through his situation with No Jumper and, you know, prior to him dipping and all that. And I was kind of like, just, you know, like I was, me and Raider had our show. You know, I'm doing 2 No Jumper shows a week. Like, there's a lot of shit going on. And I wasn't really like, I wasn't as nice as I could have been to Sharp. And there were times where I felt like I tried to include him. Like I did try to get him involved in the first diss track. I did try to get, I did try to get him involved in the first cypher. I did, despite him not being like the nicest to me, but I could have fought, I could have fought that negativity and been like a better human about it, especially when like, it's understandable that he felt the way he did, just considering he was, in his eyes, you know, I don't know how Adam or other people would characterize it. He was the one who tried to stay 10 toes for No Jumper after everybody left. And he really wanted that. He really wanted, you know, shit to, he believed in that team. He believed in that unit. You know, he was, I think during the era of the 2024, No Jumper news or whatever when it was, or I guess was at the beginning of this year even. I don't, when it was like, I think it was 2024. Yeah, no, it was 2020 when it was Sharp and Comparator and Icon and Damn Homie and Suspect and Dijon, and these were like the rotating, and Flacco, and that was like the rotating newscast. Like during that time, Brick, obviously Free Brick. During that time, I feel like Sharp was like happy with the camaraderie and was in a No Jumper was in a rebuilding phase, and he was like, and then I kind of feel like DW Flame was over there. It was a pretty solid team in retrospect in a lot of ways. It was a good transitional team that held it down before like the next era or whatever. And I think that my return rubbed him the wrong way in a lot of ways. Like he even said, like it's an A for me, church, and it's not my. I was turned off by that. I was kind of like felt like he was hating on me. Like I'm going through like bro, I'm just trying to get a fucking beyond the fact that it's like I'm going back to the place that I never wanted to be fired from to begin with, and I'm super happy to have this in my life because I believe in my potential as a media personality and podcaster and No Jumper. Contributor to No Jumper, and I always loved No Jumper so much. Like way before I was ever a part of there, I love that shit so much that like hell yeah, I want. And a motherfucker like was like, bro, me and my girl had rented a room in a fucking weird fucking couple's crib in Pomona, like for several months, and then living out of Airbnb, like trying to make it work. And this is like in the midst of the quote unquote finessing 30 vans or whatever. When it was like, there's so much more to that story. There's so much more to this whole like pregnancy story. Hopefully, tune in on New Year's. You're going to get the good, the bad, and ugly from me and Germ. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to have an amazing stream on New Year's. I hope y'all will join us for a little while. It's going to be lit. Again, if you guys have questions, send a super chat. But someone asked about my church, so I will answer. Judy said, "Doesn't Shepherd of Hills got a church in LA? Why you come to the Valley?" I like that was where I was brought the first time, and it was Pastor Dudley. That's the church I was baptized in, and I enjoy that church. I'm willing to explore other actual locations of the church, but if I get to see Pastor Dudley kick game in person, speak scripture, I'm gonna do it because not only him but all the pastors are great, and that's like I don't know. It's like I want to check out the Westwood one. I do, but with that being said, back to Sharp. Yeah, like at the end of the day, I think I've expressed several times what I felt like he did wrong, where I felt like what my frustrations were with him. I've been said it. I mean, I was yelling at the man, talking about all kinds of crazy shit, which, it is what it is. If you feel some type of way still, I don't think you do. But, it is what it is. But, all I can do is be accountable for what I did wrong and what my missteps were and what my mistakes were and the trespasses, transgressions, and wrongs that I caused him. So I know what the fuck. All I can do, even though like in a lot of ways I feel like I wasn't the aggressor here. Like I think I definitely the biggest wrong is when it got to a crazy point. I just like flipped a switch and then it became just violence and I'm gonna do this and blah 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 blah. And I just was like, that level of crashing out was completely unnecessary. Me trying to just like when I'm at war with somebody, like I can be surgical, I can be dark. Me like trying to get at his, what I was trying to paint as his sexual proclivities. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the damn sex doll or the pee or whatever the fuck. Like, whether I don't know how much of that is just internet fuckery. People think a lot of shit about me that's not true, and that I even said was true, but isn't. Like, so I get it. So I'm not even gonna like whatever it is. Me like trying to accentuate that and admonish his character with all that shit is super lame. And so again, like I make amends for my part in what I did wrong. It's up to him if he wants to accept that, and it's up to him if he wants to make amends to me if he feel like he did anything wrong. But either way, my side of the street is clean. I wish that we would have had more dialogue, but at the same time, it's this weird thing where we're in this content space and creating content. Everything becomes content, and everything becomes discussed, and everything becomes so important and for public consumption when it really doesn't need to be. And I think that's like a clear instance of realizing this shit is not necessary, dude. It's really not, and it's unfortunate that that transpired. But at the end of the day, like it's not like realistically, it's not like we're like best friends or even really like homies like that. But we could be like cordial. I have no problem being cordial with him. And he could, like I said, he could take it however he wants to, and he can still want it. If he still want to fight me, then then when we see each other, we fighting. But it is what it is. If you want to have a conversation, I'm open to that. If you never want to talk again, I'm open to that. Now, when I did try to jug in with the goblin situation, I was just trying to be a nice guy and kind of like make a subtle, not like more than like a peace offering, just be like, bro, like I'm not tripping on you. It's not that deep. Like, like this dude wants you on his pod. You helped me get on a pod that I wanted to get on with Soft White. Like, this is actually a really valuable pod. And plus, Goblin is my dog. So, Goblin is my guy. I wanted him on the pod. Or he wanted him on the pod. He reached out. I was like, let me see what I can do. And I wasn't able to make it happen. And then Sharp wound up like, I really hope that Sharp reconsiders doing Goblin's pod just like for the sake of Sharp and Goblin, because they would make a dope pod together. It ain't got nothing to do with, it ain't got nothing to do with, yeah, me and Sharp. Sometimes I'll read a comment if it's super funny, even though I'm trying to be like super chat only. Like, this fool said you and Sharp could split a 2-bedroom in Hemet. That is like the halfway distance in Barstow, huh? Fucking, no, like legitimately, I hope him and Goblin wind up doing something because I don't want to like be the reason why Goblin doesn't get an interview that he thought would be funny and Sharp would miss out on an opportunity to do some cool shit if he wants to. Now, as far as, let's talk about Yuri, Riley, and the adjacent characters. Now, first of all, me and Potlord been squashed it. One thing I want to say though is that, and Ali as well. Shouts to Ali. One thing I want to say is that I fuck with Potlord because I fuck with him as a person. It's never really been funk and like the animosity that we had was just on some dumbass podcast shit. And like he's actually cool. We both from the West. You feel me? Like we got mutuals outside of this shit, but beyond all that, there's no real reason for us to be funking like that. Like he cool. But we didn't like the reason that we're not beefing is not because we both like don't like Yuri or you know what I'm saying or like because Yuri that's a stupid like basis for any type of relationship. So I fucks with Potlord and Ali because I fucks with them. It's not because we both got the same ops or whatever, and it's really just like because again if they wind up squashing it then there's nothing there. So if anything, I'm just cool with them because they're cool and we really had no reason to have beef to begin with. Blasey, I feel like there was a turning point where Blasey and I stopped, or he stopped seeing eye to eye with me. I never I got nothing bad to say about Blasey. He got my support. I've continued support quietly from afar after bro like randomly unfollowed me. I think it was kind of like on the heels of like the Yuri situation. And even though they weren't cool at the time, I don't think they were already beefing with Yuri. Like I was like unwavering in like the like all the sister disses and all that shit. Like, and I think Blasey just kind of wasn't fucking with my character as a result. So he was just like, you know what, I don't need. I don't know if he probably might not even remember. Like, I don't even know. But prior to that, I kind of always went out of my way to keep a cordial, really cool relationship and level of like camaraderie with Blasey. So hopefully that gets rectified in 2026. And if not, it's all love on my end regardless. And we ain't never got into it for real or had no beef. But I did help name that pod. I did say that. Reconnected, you feel me? And I'm glad that the fan pulled up the clip. It was like after that combo, he wound up unfollowing me. That's the only reason I even brought that up again, because I promise you I don't give a fuck. But it is love. Phone, got nothing bad to say about Phone. Phone been my dog. Hopefully he continues to shine. I'm really proud of him on his sobriety journey, and hopefully he starts to see improvements in me as well. He showed me a lot of love with the music. When they be doing the Lush One, like soft freestyles, that actually make me feel good, because I have like my own crazy style that people can flip. Like people could do like a Draco style freestyle. You could do like a fucking Boss Man Dilo style freestyle. Or you could do like a Lush One style freestyle, because I'm like defined with my style. And Phone's been really supportive and be like, this is your lane, this is your direction. That's felt good, because he's someone who I admire his taste in music and his knowledge of the game and all that shit. No, it's not like I'm like, it's not really about like, that's the thing, dude. I don't want to like, I don't think Sharp really give a fuck about fucking with any of us for to unite with or Howie, but like, I don't have any ill will or bad feelings towards him. This isn't even about necessarily uniting or squashing the beef, or I guess it's like an olive branch of sorts, but it's me just letting fools know genuinely how I feel in my heart. Like I don't, and it's not like I don't give a fuck in an apathetic way. It's like I don't give a fuck. Like my heart doesn't have the room to hate any of y'all for real. Like I'm still down for jokes. I'm still down for, you know, WWE. Like, but I mean, I'm kind of not down for it, to be honest. It's just like played out. I want to do better with my content. I want to do better. I want to go on bigger podcasts, represent No Jumper better, put No Jumper in a new sphere, put myself in a new sphere, and get really my music, which is my primary goal. People need to know me as an artist, as an MC, as one of the great creatives in hip hop. And that's what I really need to cement. And I need people to really take that me seriously. I need to take myself more seriously as a result. And it's funny because like I think people take themselves too seriously, and a lot of the things I do are with humoristic intent, but I still think there's a way to do it where it's a little bit less J-Caddish. And hopefully, God willing, I'm able to make these strides and make these improvements. But this is me, what I really want to do and how I want to come across. Now, as far as Yuri is concerned, I'm getting a crazy text right now. As far as Yuri is concerned, I also harbor no hate in my heart towards Yuri or any animosity towards him. Again, despite what he said, and I know a lot of people's first thing they're going to say is, well, you were lying about the pregnancy. And again, there's a lot to that story. There's a lot to that story, which will get spoken on and will get expanded on. Germ told the truth. Germ wasn't lying, but there's so many more elements to it and so much more going on. And it wasn't a matter of me deceiving people or telling some. No, I was not 100% forthright about a lot of details, nor did I feel like it was necessary to. And yes, I definitely did jump the gun about thinking things that weren't necessarily accurate. With that being said, like the intention behind the malice that he perpetuated, that's enough for me to have felt justified at the time to react in the way that I did. Again, I feel like it's I've expressed more than enough times what I know in my heart to be what he did wrong. But let's look at what I did wrong, and let's take accountability like for my actions in dealing with that situation. One, although she was, you know, Riley was just standing by her man like she's supposed to. Riley is you know, she was always cool with me. We never had anything but a positive co-worker, slash chill relationship. She was always cool. They welcomed me into their home. She was very accommodating, very friendly, spent hours engineering episodes of various shows that I was a part of. Riley was always cool and never really deserved to be involved, even if I did feel like she was speaking and piping up about things and chose to block me and unfollow me on social media and all that too, because ultimately she's just standing by her man, and that's understandable. And so she shouldn't, I shouldn't have been as liberal as I was with the insults that I hurled in her direction and the negative energy. She's a woman at the end of the day, and that's just janky and that's tacky and just like dissing a. I ain't even gonna say a bitch, like, because yeah, a bitch, but like but not in a disrespectful way. But like disrespecting a woman to that degree is it's just corny, bro. I just turned 44, guys. Like I'm 44 years old, dude. Like I'm too. That's not that's not right, especially someone that's like mad younger than me, was like my niece's age. You know what I mean? Like literally like my niece's age, or like it's really tacky, dude. It's really tacky, and there's no real W. It might be funny, and like the juvenile, predominantly male audience that I cultivated, and if I saw somebody doing the same thing, I would laugh, but that wasn't right, and that's not cool. So I definitely think that I got to make amends to her for that, whether or not she ain't got to accept it. She could tell me to fuck off. She, I don't anticipate a response, and I definitely, there's none needed, and that's completely on her. And it's not something that I'm gonna lose sleep over either way. But I'm just, as a man, I know where I wasn't 100% right, and I know what I could have done better. And going into it, just I allowed my anger and the internet and just me feeling like me and my family was being attacked. So I attacked this man and his family back, and was as hurtful as possible, and said things like, the things I said to Yuri, all the sister jokes and all that, not funny, not cool. It's not cool. It's not. Whether or not, because I remember like saying that before, and I was on a pod, and even like, I think it was either an episode of the Thursday show. I think it was, because TF and Tam were on there and sus. And maybe Creep was there too. But we were talking about I was talking about that whole situation, and I feel like I was wrong for that, and I shouldn't be, like, I don't want to stand on smoking on people's dead sisters who I've never met, that have nothing to do with the situation. It's not cool. It's actually like pretty fucking corny. Although I did find it hilarious. I have a very dark, morbid sense of humor. And I think it's one of the ways I just process things emotionally. So I just thought it was funny. I genuinely thought it was funny, but it is super janky. And, my girl was very, very, very unhappy about that. I remember her coming back from work like, yo, what the fuck is you on, boy? Like, what is you on talking about this shit? Like, you were doing 10 munch, player. So there is that. As far as, again, all the people talking about the 4X for this song, Adam knows how to write. Adam's a really, really good writer. He's been, right, he just, Me and Bricks helped him out with the flow for the first one, but you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. It was like, again, like, come on, dude. Adam don't need my help. All right. Adam's talented enough on his own in that regard. But, um, oh, yeah, no, I'm not going to lie. I feel like it's weird. It's difficult to equate. I took some L's, but I had a lot of W's. And I had a lot of a lot of my L's turned out to be some of my biggest moments. I want my W's to be my biggest moments next year. I want that to be. It's difficult, and especially in this space, it's not something that is. I want to be known for the art that I create. I want to do some fire interviews, some great content, some journalism. I'm getting back into production. There's a lot. I'm going to continue these videos I'm doing, which I'm pretty much essentially co-producing every one. But yeah, I got God on my side now, so I'm I've always had God on my side, but I'm having more conscious contact with God and having more of a personal relationship, which I'm going to be continuing to expand on. Hopefully that one of the main things I want to do is get a hold of my health, and that goes from physical to my sobriety, recovery to all aspects, mental. I want to be a healthier human being, have a healthier relationship, have a more honest relationship with myself, with God, with my friends. I want to reconnect and be a little bit closer with my family, who's made it clear that they want everything to do with me, and it's pretty much on me. I've been kind of the one isolating from my family because I felt kind of bad about that, and I got to stop kind of being a bitch about not wanting to be around my parents because them kind of getting older and my mom being sick has been really hard for me to deal with and emotionally. But I've been like a bitch because, let's say God forbid something bad happens. Like today I was with the homie, right? I took the homie and he got baptized. One of my homies from my section came and got baptized, and which the church was psyched on, and they're like, oh wow, you're already bringing people, and he's gone through a lot in his life, and he was talking about how his father is his father's fighting cancer, and he invited us to go visit him. His pop's a really cool dude. So I was like, man, we gotta go. You gotta go see your pop. We gotta do that soon though. You feel me? He's sick like that. Let's take that upon ourselves. Let's go visit him. And then I thought damn, that's super hypocritical because I'm not even going to see my own family right now, and I gotta stop being as much of a bitch about it, and just just go and deal with it and enjoy the time that I can have with my parents and try to do as much to help them as possible. And if there's a way that I could give back, man, that would just be, financially give back. That would be next level. You feel me? I mean, no, I'm from a section. I'm born and raised in West LA. I'm from somewhere. So I don't know I'm not talking about a gang, stupid. But if I was talking about a gang, I'd be talking about a gang. So, but nah, I'm not trying to portray the image of a tough guy, a gang member, anything like that. But I'm somebody that's been around and seen a lot and experienced a lot, way more than I should have. I done seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I done seen parts of hell. I done stared the devil in his face. I done been shot at. I done been stabbed. I done been fucked people over. I done had millions. I done lost millions. I done been up. I done been down. I done been everything I just said is true. I done overdosed. I done, several times. I done been to most corridors of the world. There's gone through a lot, bro. Gone through a lot. So, okay, yeah. So as far as the Yuri thing goes, just to kind of summarize that and wrap it up, I know what I did wrong regarding him, and that again escalated and could have had more conversations, but I don't really feel I don't wish negative upon him or his family. I want to see him do good, and if I saw him it's I would just kind of match his energy. and we'd see what time it was. But there's no animosity on my end. But there's still enough. Like I try. I'll be honest. Like there's still anger in my soul. I'm trying to get rid of it. Like because he said some really wild shit. He's like said the most wild shit of anybody. But no, honestly, no. I don't have any anger in my heart towards him. I relinquish that in the name of Jesus Christ. So I hold no grudge against him. There's a lot of I mean, when you talk about beefs, like I feel like I got a pretty good this year as far as beefs. I'll be almighty fade was last year. Now, as far as my current relationship with Compa Raider, it's positive, and I feel like it's in a good place. And I do feel like we make fun, entertaining content together, and I'd be open to having more content with him in the context of, just our shit or being on his channel, being on my channel, or even, if those guys want to come, if the All Facts Spot want to come to No Jumper, I still think it'd be cool, and I'd be definitely excited about it. I have a lot of love for Compa for bringing me to church, and that was really cool of him. Now, I do think that, I get it, the content's funnies, and I don't take myself too seriously, but it's when you've been, I think a lot of people get misconstrued because I've been, on this crazy arc. A lot of people that came up with me and, know of me, they know, the silliness and, unpredictable activities that I'm capable of, but I've also, been really instrumental in a lot of different battle rappers and artists' careers and brought them a lot of money and been involved in situations that were really high caliber. So for people to just see me not just running around like a knock, looking smoked out, and just being and seemingly degrading myself, that's not what my friends, the people that I've known for decades, that's not what they think of me. So I think a lot of the content might have been off-putting to people I care about and who care about me genuinely. But I've been frustrated because I feel like I've done such a stellar job as far as trying to represent for them and shine a light on hip hop in a corridor that normally wouldn't even glance at it, that has a big platform. That I felt like, I could get a little bit more. I would assume, get more love and support from the people that are my colleagues, that are friends of mine. There's some that have shown support and others that have been kind of strangely silent, especially during my arc where, there's been a clear consensus that my music is the best it's ever been, and I'm on a really creative, crazy run, and a lot of people that I admire that are well respected, the people that I look up to, that I grew up looking up to, they're showing love, the fans are showing love, and then when I talk to my homies, they'll show love, but a lot of them they're not going out of their way to share, and I don't want to say it's because they feel threatened or anything like that. I don't want to. But that's a little bit strange and hurtful. And there's relationships in my life that I wish I had that I'm not present in their lives, or they're not present in my lives, and that's hurtful. But I also know that I've done the same thing to a lot of other people. And there's a lot of friends, there's a lot of people that I love that have tried and reached out to me so many times, and I haven't reciprocated that energy. So I can understand why they would be frustrated towards me. So, I already talked about the Adam diss, but just to reiterate it because I know there's more people in here now. No, I did not write it. Yes, Adam is a good writer. 4Extra I'm cool with. I wouldn't diss him. But I am capable of far, far, far worse. And I'll say it one more time. I've been a writer for decades, so even if I did, I never would. I've written for some of the most prominent artists in the game, and I will never, have never, shall never, won't ever, 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 ever tell if I did. But I didn't, actually. Like that's the cold part is like in this instance, I actually did it, but if I did, I never would. So, and that's a general disclaimer because a lot of people that tune in to my streams are artists that I have worked with, and they've hit me up in the past and thinking I'm alluding to something when I'm not. So I respect it. I know sample snitch. I know studio snitch. So no, this is actually the fucking This is like the little lounge room in my apartment. It's like downstairs. You'll see it in a couple of my videos, like different places in here, and in you'll see in I got like a dope interview with Shaheem the Rugged Child from Wu Tang that I did right here on that couch. So, yeah. Nah, I did not write the diss track. Yeah, it is a big ass lounge. You can't even see half of it. There's a whole other area, and you got a motherfucking printer and all that. Yeah, it's not too shabby. It's not too shabby. I think a lot of people misconstrue my lifestyle for better or for worse, as far as like I think they think I'm bummier or more smoked out, or they think I'm like richer and more stable. But there's not much of a middle ground, unfortunately. My relationship with who else? Who else I get? So there's other people that I've had altercations with, like Dejan, Rich Trapper. Not even altercations, but like disagreements that we wound up becoming. Well, it's weird because like yeah, I was cool with both of them, and then again over the content shit fell out, and then we wound up because I feel like again there's instances where I could point to what I feel like others did wrong, but there's no real point, and I harbor no animosity, so it's love for both of them. Saeed said, Lush, when you coming back to NYC, you promised summer. Fuck, I can't believe a whole time goes by fast, bro. Like, and the older you get, the quicker it goes. It's kind of like an exponential scale. Literally, the longer that you're alive, like when you're 2 years old, 1 year is 50% of your life. When you're 3 years old, 1 year is 33% of your life. When you're 4 years old, 1 year is 25, 5, 20, 6 years, and so on. Okay, so when you're 44, 1 year feels like it's a lot quicker and it goes by. So I thought maybe when I said summer, I meant summer 2026. That sounds a lot more realistic, if anything. I would love to though. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, King Pill. I'll say, I said this the other day, like, and this is kind of like the point. Like, I'm not, I grew up in LA, and one of the reasons, me not being somebody that, I've gotten in some scuffles and I definitely had some altercations and done some shit. Most of the dirt that I put in, the work I put in, like the crimes I've committed in my past were not like physical things per se. It's more like selling dope or just busting moves, like whatever. But I one of the ways I've always kept it cool with a lot of people, and I've always maneuvered by keeping it cool. I don't know anything. I don't think I know the streets don't love nobody, and I know that nobody, like, motherfuckers don't give a fuck. But the best way to get respect is to show respect. So I've always been a firm believer that when you're outside, when you're walking around, and when you maneuver, and there's so many different levels of showing respect. That's how come I ain't never had a chain snatch in my entire life. I don't wear jewelry currently anymore. I don't I don't collect my jewelry when had no more money. I collected, but and then when I moved to MacArthur Park, I'm like, it would be disrespectful for me to be walking around. I've been in the hood with chains and all that, and but honestly, it's disrespectful. It's disrespect. I'm not trying to flex on anybody. I'm not trying to make them feel like I'm better than them. Like, that's lame. That's lame. I don't need to. I shine regardless. I shine harder. I don't need it to shine. I love jewelry. Don't get it twisted. It's beautiful. I love jewelry. I love it. Some fly pieces and a nice watch again and all that. I sold my Breitling. I sold her, But with that being said, like, um, it like I've always just like try to be a good person, not try to make people feel like I think I'm better than them or I'm looking down on them or, so showing respect, you're gonna get it. So I've tried to stay out of a lot of shit. So I'm not trying to put myself in the middle of a bunch of other beefs that don't really concern me. Now, I understand my job is dangerous because I gotta talk about it and I'm funny and I'm gonna crack jokes. So I'm gonna continue to crack jokes, but I gotta know. I think my biggest takeaway from this year is like there's certain times where it's best to keep my mouth shut. And although there were certain times I spoke up when I really didn't have any business speaking up, like I made that joke with Ugly Money and Ant where he had said the dish for Crips without, he was just literally talking about a seafood dish or whatever. And he said, or I think he said like in a bucket or in a barrel, whatever, you feel me? Um, and I was like, oh, don't be careful with that word. And then Ant was like, and like corrected me and was like, come on, bro, it's not even really your place to be saying that. And although I did mean it as a joke, and I do feel like a lot of times people often take things very seriously, like there are certain times where it's better to just not say shit. And it's hard because you want to be, I try my best to be an engaging podcast personality, and a lot of that I feel like is humor. Like, so like if I get too serious, even like a combo like this where the majority of it's serious, like, I'm gonna say something funny, I'm gonna tell a joke, I'm gonna do something silly, I'm gonna do something outlandish because I want to keep the audience on their toes and I want to give people a good show and I want it to be entertaining. So yeah, and that's the thing. So I think a lot of people, exactly, a lot of people think that I'm doing it in an effort to try to like play Captain Save-A-Ho and overly defend Adam. And that's kind of like one of the main things I wanted to make clear with when I was discussing Fig Immunity earlier was that it was me being kind of butthurt, feeling it a lot. Yes, there was an element of me wanting to like stick up for the home team and ride for no jumper. And oftentimes, like I've seen it in a lot of other people, and I've seen it in myself. Like if there's a situation where, like I remember, and I've talked about this before. Like I was rocking with King of the Dot Battle Rap League, and we wound up like I wound up going in another direction. Like we wound up falling out for a while, and when I came back, I went extra hard. You feel like I got the King of the Dot tat on my fucking arm, and it was like, nah, like like I'm gonna let y'all motherfuckers know it's still KOTD. So like I've been there, and I react kind of like as cringe as it might be, and as foolhardy of a way of being as it might be. I've definitely done it several times. So I think there's definitely, I'm not like, I don't lack the self-awareness, thank God, to realize that yes, there is an element of that, but also, I also want to make it clear that I felt slighted by those guys and was butthurt. Now, another person I want to address who's adjacent to that camp, obviously I didn't say anything, haven't addressed Pun, but it's pretty much like I'll echo the same sentiments I said about the other guys. Like Duno's always been my dog. Like we've always been cool. We've done business together. He threw his party at my old venue that when I had it for a while, and he's always been really solid. And I've always tried to keep it really solid with him. We've done some cool interviews, and he's just a chill dude. Like I fucks with Duno, and we ain't never, he's a homie. Like he's a good dude. Like so Duno's always gonna, and he would even say when I ran into him, like man, like we start like. Try not to talk about the homies so much. Like leave like Fake Immunity alone. Like stop. Da, 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 da. And I was like, I know. Like even and the funny thing is when he had like the event he had, and it was like the end of it was like just around this time last year. Just like literally. He wanted or they were invited. They wound up not being there for whatever reason. It was more like his, local homies and shit he grew up with and all that. But yeah, no one from Think Community was there, but they are they were invited, and it would have been cool if I would have seen him. It would have. I didn't have like they were welcome in my warehouse that I had at the time. He but also pun like I ain't like pun like says a lot of crazy shit, and like he can continue to make fun of me. I can continue to make fun of him, whatever. But again, it's no real animosity. I don't like it's I think he's all right. I ain't got nothing bad to say for real. But I don't really think I owe Pun an apology. Maybe if y'all could point to something I did to him that was maybe it was a little bit like more intense than I needed to be when addressing him certain times. I don't really feel like he's ever really shown me the most love or cut me any grace. At the same time, he's like an older dude, so I think he kind of understands the content space. I don't think he's taking it. I'd like to hope that he's not taking it in a real genuinely emotional way where he give a fuck. I certainly don't. But someone I do want to address from adjacent to their camp at the very least is Yazers. I want to say that it was wrong of me to make some of the jokes I did towards her. I feel like I lashed out towards her. In defense, the Yazers thing is a little bit strange because I used to be really cool with her and we would talk often when I was still during the original tenure at No Jumper, and even afterwards, like when I was just doing Lush World, she would still clip my shit. She showed me a lot of love and was just like really kind, and we had some pretty deep combos actually, via Instagram. I thought she was always held her in high regard, and it's funny. I wanted to talk to her on some advice shit before I went back to No Jumper because it was weird. Like I forget the time I went back. I did the No Jumper episode, but like when they did the like No Jumper reunion or whatever, like the community had like the No Jumper reunion for all the former castmates, and they, like when Tyrell like called and invited me on there, I I was in the studio with Germ. We were working on some shit, and I kind of was just like, what? Like, I didn't even realize I was on live, so I just said like, yeah. And I wanted to talk to Yazers to like consult and ask her for advice on it, but then like before I even had a chance, like the No Jumper thing was announced, and then she kind of started like strictly covering the negative aspects of me or just like things out of context or me looking stupid or like me being, I don't know. I just felt like she was against me ever since then. And I get it. She's like No Jumper K, like big community gang. But I thought that her and I were a little bit cooler. So that kind of caused me to just be a little bit indifferent towards her emotions at a certain point. But again, like if you really beefing with her, saying it, not even beefing because it was never that, but if you like are coming like that sideways at a female, like I think that's pretty fucking lame. Like there's most of the times where I've blown up like on a bitch, like I regret it. It's super bitch made to like flash on a bitch. There's nothing masculine about it. There's nothing cool about it, especially like somebody that, like the type of jokes I was making were like I was hitting below the belt. Like I didn't just like I was saying mean things, and I want to apologize, like beyond like an amends, like a formal like apology to Yazers for saying things like that. It's just not cool to make fun of people in the manner that I was. I said I don't want to repeat what I said, just because it's like kind of like a subtle way to kind of like get off another insult. I don't want it to be interpreted like that, but I do think that was mean, and although like she hadn't covered me in the most positive light in the past, and I did actually prior to this like send her a message kind of being like, damn, and then I seen that she was affected by it. Not I don't even want to say that, but like I could tell she was taken aback and surprised at like how like cold I was, some of the things I said, and like, and then she wound up actually like covering my baptism. I didn't really look into the, because sometimes like reading posts, like I don't really read a lot of comments, like because a lot of them are like pretty toxic, and like that's like a pretty toxic like page regarding Lush for the most part in the past couple of years since I've been back in No Jumper, so I don't like to read most of the comments. Although some of them are funny, and I do have a sense of humor about myself. Don't get it twisted, but yeah, like so even like and again like I don't know if she I don't know what the tone was like of her covering it, if like she thought that was like funny and she was making fun of it. That's still okay. Like I don't like it's not gonna again that's like she's supposed to do that. She's a content page supporting the community, so in her eyes everything I do I'm the ops. So she's gonna put me, and like I felt like I was kind of put in that category. I'm not saying by her, but just by that fan base in general. The moment I went back to No Jumper, when in reality it's not like I was like big community gang, and I kind of like I said I felt kind of like I wasn't. They didn't really want me over there, so I was like, fuck it. So I was kind of butthurt about it, and I just maybe gave like a little bit more of a negative tone than I wanted to, like when I'm joking, because I'm still like, I still have like a fucking sense of humor, and I still like to make fun of people, you know what I mean? I'm still a battle rapper, so I'm gonna clown, like, always. I clown my best friends, I clown my enemies, and everybody in between. Like, I'm gonna do that. I just wanna like do it in a more mature, less like acrimonious slash contentious slash like cruel way. And I think being cruel is funny to a degree as well. Don't get it twisted, but like I don't know. I don't think it needs to be that. And I also don't think that. Yeah, So that's that. Who else? Who else is there? Um, oh yeah, Spud. Oh, okay. First of all, people like anyone that I've just made jokes about, especially like, and 90% of the time is when they joke on me first. Like, I don't have a real animosity with you. Like, the Spider Lokes of the world, who I've never really like formally interacted with to that degree for a long time. Like, I know he was real cool with my boy Bishop and some other people, but like, and like during the whole certain like battle rap controversies with Disaster, like, he was cool. But, bro, this is literally, let me explain something to you. This is like the furthest thing. This is a Hugo Boss P code. IYKYK. Like, this is like literally, if you know what a Hugo Boss P code is, like, this is like me looking like a Jew. Much is clearly like the consequence of my Ashkenazi genetics and like the color scheme I'm wearing and the train conductor preem. But in reality, oh shit, No Jumper in the chat, brother. But who were we just talking about before that? Do not send Mexican. You're hilarious, bro. Oh, yeah. Who else is there to even address? I feel like I've. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. The spider look thing. King Pill. Like I want to see him do good. Like I said this on the show the other day. Like I kind of feel bad for him. I don't have any animosity towards him. I'm not opposed to him coming over to No Jumper to do content in any capacity. He's chill. At the same time, like, I'm not like, I don't really care. But, and I don't feel like I owe him. an apology in any capacity. Just being honest, or Spider Look. I'll just like, there's a lot of people that I was popped it at after they popped it at me, and it was just like kind of like content joking things, and like I don't think there's really any need to clarify or further expand on that. Yeah, so we talked about so we talked about so many things already, and so many people been on stream for 90 minutes almost. I want to talk about, so some of you guys who aren't No Jumper fans might find this part boring, but maybe some of you, or hopefully you guys don't just like fly the coop on this note. But I do want to talk about the No Jumper battle rap event that I tried to do earlier this year. So there's this guy that I've been working with. This dude had reached out to me, I think, for the first time to work back in 2022. This is when, during like a high point, right before, like I was at No Jumper, but it's when me and Disaster had the show there. It wasn't during, again, if y'all want me to address anything, now's a good time to send a super chat because I will address it. Other than that, I'm just gonna cook. So during, like at that time, I've over damn near $1 million in active budgets open. I had 6 figures up in my account. I was still with my ex in Philly and just had a lot of cool things in motion. I was sober, had the show on No Jumper. It wasn't really like resonating with the No Jumper audience yet, but it was still doing cool. This is when me and Disaster had a show. We were like interviewing Exhibit. We interviewed Hobson, Razkaz. It was a lot of cool content that we actually did. I think that show is, we interviewed Dumbfounded. We did a lot of really dope shit that just wound up kind of, I don't know. Again, I don't feel like that show was rolled out properly, but whatevski. So at that time, like I'm doing really well, and this dude wanted to bring me to Memphis to host a battle rap event and a club night out there. He kind of wasn't paying the most money, and it was kind of a smaller event with not the biggest crowd, but like I've been working with local smaller promoters and battle rap for years, and I'm pretty accommodating, and this dude seemed pretty chill, and we struck up a rapport, did business a couple more times. I always, despite him kind of like, normally like when you're receiving payments in battle rap, it doesn't, like if you're getting your deposit is like $5,000, you're not gonna get paid like $300 today and $500 on Wednesday. And like I cut him a lot of slack in that regard because I knew that he was, like this dude literally picked me up from the airport the first time, fresh off a landscaping job, and then went straight to the battle, still wearing like his clothes from like mowing lawns or landscaping. So I respected that, and I knew he was making insane things happen and like going to great lengths just for the culture. So I was like, and he was super chill and seemed like he really had a good understanding of who I was and my career and what I was capable of doing and what we would so he showed me a lot of love. You want to, then after the Memphis event and us working one more time at an event in August of 22, which is, for those that are like super familiar with my lore, those know that was like the month where my entire life collapsed worse than it ever did before, and which kind of led to my original arc on the No Jumper show, which started in September that following month. So during that time, I guess it was, I want to say December or January of 2023. I think it was December of 2022. It was, because it was right before my birthday. He brought me back out. For Yeah. Oh no, that was a different event. That was when I went to DC. But right around that time, right around that time, he brought me to an event. I think it was before then. I want to say maybe November. He brought me to an event, and it was in the. He brought me to an event. It was in upstate New York, but he flew me into Jersey, and it was like I tell you, there's a whole entire episode of the Monday show back in the day when I break it down. Like it was one of the most insane experiences. Like I almost got fucking. I got set up at an Airbnb at an Airbnb, which was a fucking which was literally in the projects in Newark, New Jersey, in the middle of the bricks, and we almost got lined up like a bunch of Bloods were rolling. It was crazy. Almost got set up to get robbed, dipped out, got a telly in Manhattan, wound up spending a grip of money, and was kind of like, yo, like irritated at this dude. He wound up making it right, bringing me out again to New York when I was working at No Jumper during this most recent tenure. I want to say like August or something of 2024 type shit, like sometime around then. I don't know exactly when, like somewhere around then, like later 2024. I went out there and this dude wound up, I was cutting him a lot of graces that I would not cut any other promoter because I thought we had a certain level of rapport. So there was a lot of things he was doing as far as like that I would consider red flags or like lack of professionalism when you're a when you're a promoter that I was like letting him slide on because I was like, all right, dude, like you're clearly got a lot of issues, but and like clearly like are like this fool like booked me like brought me out and I was wind up having to like not only did I not have like was it a janky ass motel, like I'm not saying I need like the fucking Ritz every time, but come on bro, like this fool had me like at a straight janky motel, but I was sharing a room with him and one of the other battlers. I was like, what the fuck, like this is not what I signed up for. Wound up having to front costs for Ubers and a bunch of other shit, like I wasn't really tripping though, because bro is cool, like ultimately. And then he wound up wanting to do this. He wanted to do an event for a battle rap event for No Jumper. So I was like, all right, I'm down. There's a lot of changes to the original agreement that this guy, first it was going to be a certain month, then it got pushed back. He didn't have the money, couldn't book this person canceled, blah, 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 blah. So, I had No Jumper down to do it. They were, no Jumper, like I was going to, originally, like, Mikey and them were going to come shoot it. I was going to have No Jumper shoot it themselves. We originally wanted to do it like I had my own warehouse, so it was like a great peripheral location to use for No Jumper shooting at the time. So, it was easy to do that. And so we could have more people than usual in No Jumper, and it would have been cool. We could accommodate the space, and it would have been like a better environment. But, so we had everything going, but then like the date kept changing, and things were like, all right, so it is what it is. And then we did wind up finally shooting the event, I want to say January or February of this year. There are some dope battlers on the card. The promoter didn't even come to the event. I think it's because it was too expensive. He didn't have the money, but he did, in his own, shots to him, jams for making it happen actually. So we shot the battles, which were awesome. And I had my boy Mango, my homie, y'all might know him as Couch Bro, literally like, edit an entire piece, and he did a cool thing, and it had little interludes. I kind of wanted it to be more like a Jackass style, like skate video than I did, I wanted it to be something cool, like something different, like more like the older vlog style of No Jumper. I thought this would have been rad, and there's like a bunch of funny shit in there, and different characters beyond the battles, and just kind of go in and out of the battles and have cool music in it. So we made like a dope hour-long piece, and it was in cute. Now, the thing is, my interviews and the content that I do at No Jumper is not necessarily prioritize when it comes to release. You know, Adam has his interviews. There's our pre-existing shows. I do interviews, and they get worked into the schedule. Sometimes it takes a few months for the content that I do to come out, and that's just kind of the way it was. And this was just so happened in the interim time, like when we were considering it being dropped. This is like literally the time that first Faux Extra comes home after being locked up after coming home again and rejoining the staff for the second time. Then the Brick Baby Loose Cannon thing happens and the whole Rolling 60s indictment and Brick getting locked up and so there's so much going on that content and its release wound up getting a little bit delayed. I'm frustrated. Like I still have, by the way, I have interviews with OT the Real, Shaheem the Rugged Child. I have a crazy interview with this kid Prince Joseph, who just had like an insane story regarding like being in foster care and just like the flaws in the the foster system of Los Angeles and just like crazy shit that that interview hasn't come out. I wound up actually crying in that interview, brought to tears by like how devastating and just inspirational this guy's story was. I have a Stiff Barbie interview that hasn't dropped yet. I got 3 or 4 mic drops that I've shot that haven't dropped yet for different people. So, things take a while to come out. And especially like when I'm doing content at peripheral locations outside of the realm of normality for No Jumper, and I'm responsible for all the certain aspects of the editing and titling, etc. So it's a lot more that goes into it. Now again, this stream is all about Sherlock Holmes with the peep is hilarious. This stream is all about accountability. So I know that there's things that I could have done better, and I could have been a lot more transparent with my dialogue with this individual, with Jams and his people, and as well as made some more public statements regarding it, and been a little bit more transparent with my conversations with No Jumper. There's a lot of, probably could have got some of this content out sooner if I was more on top of it, but between just going there and dealing with my own, just dealing with the streams, which require so much focus, as well as my music and all of that, and my own life, some of these things I could have handled a little bit better and been more on top of, and that's one of them. I did expect that he would be a little bit more understanding and patient, because we really were a couple weeks max from getting that footage out, but then he started crashing out. And beyond being disrespectful and beyond like having other people trying to intervene and we're trying to speak in an amicable way, he had, because we had done events together before, he still had access to my YouTube channel and unauthorized signed in and wound up actually deleting footage, footage that I had decent views, that I'd spent, thousands of dollars on curating, a lot of money. It was an event that cost over 100,000. The last 100,000 that I had that wound up fucking me royally. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally like DOS boot sized crooked dildo to the side, like tearing your intestinal cavities, fucked in the ass, like by that, losing that last 100K. And although not that battle made 100K, but that battle was like a part of that event. So I was kind of a Jake Paul break jaw donkey punch to the motherfucking scrotum, if you ask me, losing any content associated with that debacle right there. So when that happened, I kind of took my foot on the gas harder. And this is after he, like, at first he was kind of like, I don't like to use the word extort, but he was like trying to like he was being like, you gotta drop the footage on No Jumper within 24 hours or your channel is, I'm never giving you, like, I'm not giving your channel back or whatever. I'm not re-uploading the video. Thank God I didn't have my music Thank God he didn't. Oh no, it was the GTX channel. It wasn't my personal channel, thank God. But still, like, thank God he could have done even worse shit. But I wound up regaining access through the true two-factor authentication, whatever, and getting my channel back. And then I kind of told him to fuck himself. And it sucks because the people that really took the biggest L beyond like the sponsors that put the money up, and the footage was subsequently released on Hip Hop Is Real. Shouts to them. They're a dope battle rap based hip hop channel, and they the homies. So, but it would have been extremely more impactful if it was released in the format that we wanted to. Now, even after all that, I wound up reaching out to Jams one last time and being like, hey, like, I still want to put this footage out. It sucks for the battlers. And he wound up telling me, yeah, I'll do it if you send me $500. So it's definitely not worth it. It's not worth negotiating with terrorists. Not to like say it like that, but it's just like saying the phrase, like, because this dude's being completely unreasonable, and it doesn't even make sense for him to have this to be playing, because he's like being counterintuitive to his own people's growth at this point. He's the one preventing it, because No Jumper's down, I'm down, we could release the footage. He didn't want to do it. He wanted $500. I thought that was beyond tacky, because everybody's taking an L from this at this point. I had to pay my homies that edited that footage. I didn't get to invoice for it because it was never released. So, like that was an unfortunate situation. But I will say one last time, I know, because I've reached out to recently some of his people to try to get this cracking one last ditch effort, and he basically, especially because I was in my old warehouse, which is now the Awful Lot of Cough Syrup warehouse, where, that Mr. Alec painted the Draco the Ruler mural that I commissioned, and the homie Beefy wound up cashing out for it, or buying the paint for, and showing love for, and, cashing out for, whatever the case may be. So that, I had some amazing graphs in there and shit, but it's pretty much, if he's down, if Jams is down for that footage to come out on No Jumper as originally proposed, and all the battlers would love it, Chess and Reverse Live and all the other talented guys on that card. It was a great card. Mike G from Mod Future battled a bunch of people. It was a really dope card. Chain Tutta, there's a gang of dope people on there. It's really unfortunate that it hasn't come out, and I'm offering, in the form that it was edited by my team, by Mango. So if, on No Jumper, if Jams is cool with it, it could still drop on No Jumper, but that's, if it was a fifth, we'd be all drunk right now, right? So I can't say. So there's that. That's like one of the main things I wanted to talk about. There's a lot I want to talk about regarding music. I think that I'm going to save that for another stream. If you guys have any super chats y'all want to send, now would be the time. I think I'm going to get off this thing in a few minutes, but we're going to wind down. If you have any super chats you want to send, that's the way to get me to address it. If answer any questions you got or make any statements, I will read it out. Please, though, hit that like button, hit that share button. Please run up. Like, I've dropped 9 videos in the past 3 months. They're all fire. They're all on the God Save MacArthur Park projects. 5 different directors, Skin Deep and Vodka Gravis, and my boy Modoc producing the beats, and the majority by Skin Deep. I think 7 of them. And yeah, it's great. Everything. Please just click on the videos tab on my channel, watch those, hit the like button, share them, comment your favorite bars. Let me know if there's anything or anyone I didn't talk about. Oh, okay, real quick. To all like the random people that I had like crash outs with, where I'm inviting fools to MacArthur Park to catch fades, or I'm sliding to their hood and all that. Like, yeah, that was wild. But there's nobody that happened with where on my end and on their end there's any animosity. All that's been kind of squash. The Spud buddy, the Spud Gotti guy actually turned out to be cool, and we actually got along, and I wish him well. And we might be, who knows, we might see him. He had told me some things about why his podcast had stopped, and it kind of made me feel, I felt bad, you know what I mean? So I want to see him get his shit jerking again for real. Oh yeah, I guess I never addressed the. Well, I don't think there's really much to say about the Munchie B situation. Because Munchie and I are still cool. Like I never had any animosity. People were saying we were Roach and Day Day, right? People enjoyed me and Munchie on the pod together. Prior to ever meeting Munchie, I had my preconceived notions because I fuck with Ralphie and them so heavy, and I'm, so, like the biggest Draco fan of all time, and I'm, Stink Team, Associated Fam and all that. So, but doing the pod with him, we actually struck up a cool rapport, and it's I ain't got nothing bad. I think it's unfortunate the way it unfolded with Munchie and Adam, and I think it's really. I hope he decides to come back, but he gonna be doing his thing on Morals Over Money regardless. I could. I'm pretty sure you'll see me pop up. We had talked about me popping up, I think, in January or to Morals Over Money regardless. But, he gonna do his thing. I think he was a great addition to No Jumper and definitely changes the dynamic of the show. But it's also kind of, I'm homies with Ant too. I think I consider Ant a friend. I think him and I do great content as well. I think we have good conversations. And I do like Ant being more present. So Ant like being on the show, talking more is a huge W. And if like he does on the news frequently, like he talks more on the news, you see him on his own platform, on the No Jumper show, whatever the dynamic was with him and Munchie, for whatever reason, despite the fact that they have like a pre-existing friendship, it got a little bit, I guess, awkward and kind of made him feel compelled to not really speak as much as he usually would, So that's unfortunate. And I don't know how that will work upon Munchie's return. Now, from a content perspective, it could be great seeing them work out their differences in real time, live on the pod. That's why I wanted Munchie and Adam to have that convo on live on the No Jumper show. Like them doing a pod together beforehand would have been cool. But to me, like, shit, I feel like these moments need to be captured on the Big Boy show. You feel me? They need to be captured for real, for real. And fools really need to like that's A1 entertainment. Kind of the same, like if 4Extra and Unk, despite that conversation going really left, like, and I guess, in the 4Extra and Unk situation, I guess they had already talked about, and I feel like that was pretty volatile regardless and would have gone left regardless. I think the realest shit I could say is I just want to be more involved and prepared for every piece of content I do and do more pre-production. I know Adam does that. He has like well thought out narratives and takes that he brings to every pod, and he's encouraged us to do that, and I try to do that, but I'd like to be more, just more. Not only does it is it more entertaining, it's more like things feel a lot more calculated and a lot less random. And although the controlled chaos element and the unpredictability and volatility is a huge part of the appeal of No Jumper, I think professionalism trumps everything. So, you feel me? But I'm down to rap on a Stu Bangers beat. One thou wow. All right. Yeah, who else is there? I mean, okay, as far as the Adam and 4Extras thing, I think it's pretty obvious that in reality, there's things that both of them could have done that would have led to a more harmonious outcome, no pun intended. Especially because like at the end of the day, like Adam is a lot more of he's in a stronger position in life as far as financially, having both feet on the ground, having experience in this industry, and as a mentor and guide to 4Extra. 4Extra should have trusted him more and spoken to him directly more and been more open to his guidance, especially when Adam was guiding him in a good direction. Adam, though, also should have been a lot more, in my opinion, he should have been a little bit more understanding of 4Extra's lack of experience and just like understanding of the game and the circumstances and, like overall just emotional intelligence, emotional capacity. So Adam didn't really cut him slack and grace and understanding in ways that if he would have and had more conversations with him, it probably would have been advantageous and had been a little bit more sensitive about who was around and how that just like what the optics are for someone like 4Extras who might not have the full understanding. It would have been beneficial for Extra and Adam. It would have been beneficial for Adam. And, we might not be where we are right now with Adam making fucking wild ass diss tracks going in and Extra going in and, crashing out on Adam in front of Trap Lord Ross, saying that he want to fight Adam and all this shit. So it's like, it kind of, I think there's things they both could have done better. And that's my genuine take. And I'll say that to either one of them. I think that both parties could have been more mature and it wasn't conducive for success. I think that it's real easy to get the game and your position in it. And like when you see those likes and those comments, it's easy to think that that's going to translate to like a viable business, but unless it's done correctly, unfortunately, it doesn't manifest like that. It doesn't manifest like that. So, what the fuck? At the end of the day, like, I'm glad to be contributing to No Jumper, but if I wasn't there, I'm pretty sure they'd be all right, and they would find somebody. I know I definitely hold it down in a lot of capacities, but No Jumper survives. No Jumper might survive the apocalypse. It might be the entertainment for the Mad Max and Akira and Neo Angeles era that is all upon us any day now in this post-apocalyptic society. But no, all jokes aside, like, No Jumper is going to always be No Jumper. And Adam created something dope and is going to continue to be dope. And I'm juiced to be a part of it, and I'm juiced for my own arc and my own growth. And I really would like to, hopefully, with a little bit of the spiritual grounding and a little bit of maturity, I can keep this exciting energy that I have and not be lame and do a much bigger things and impact on a bigger level and contribute to everything I want to do, from musically to event curation within battle rap, to content curation and content creation, and just being more of just really growing my brand into something that is, because it's been financially viable, but something that like is able to sustain me and take me to a higher level. And who knows, that's a very lofty ambition, but I've been crazy enough to be ambitious my whole life and do things that people would scoff at. Like I made a choice when I was like a teenager to follow my dreams, and I've been doing it ever since, good, bad, and ugly. And falling flat on my face, went a path that most people think is pretty foolish considering what they think the circumstances of my life were or where I could have been. But I might have made mistakes, but I ultimately got no regrets because I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I'm happy and excited to see what's right around the corner. So, yep, it would be dope to see, it would definitely dope to see Crip Mag back home. We're excited for it. For a shit show. hopefully, oh man, that I don't know how 4Extra is going to respond to Adam's diss track. What's going to happen from there? Hopefully, they wind up reaching peace. So I want to see peace and prosperity and success for everybody. Is there anybody that I was supposed to mention that I didn't? Um, I'm sure there is, but shouts and love, shouts to everybody that's been holding it down on No Jumper and continuing to. Hope that Moose Man documentary comes out soon. I know I do so much crazy shit. It's constantly evolving and changing. Shouts to every platform that's rocking with me and has rocked with me and supported me in any capacity. I don't even reach out. People reach out to me. I should reach out to more people. I'm gonna start doing that. And yeah, that's it. I'm trying to be as honest as I possibly can. Nah, me and Germ have like been together this whole time. TBH. So pretty sure y'all like seen our Instagram stories and stuff. But there has never been a single night of no Germ. But yeah, Germ's literally upstairs right now. Appreciate the love. What's it called? Um, yeah, shouts to all the free brick baby. You feel me? Shouts to all the co-hosts and No Jumper. Gina, I still got love for you. I don't know why you don't fuck with me. It's all love, no play, girl. Shouts to everybody. Good, bad, ugly, former, current, future. Never counterfeit. We about a grip. And we about this biatch, out this biatch. Ooh. Salute, motherfuckers. Yeah.